Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're not just looking at one major inflection point in AI. We are tracking three simultaneous high-velocity shifts that really, when you take them together, define the entire state of the industry right now. It's sort of a triple threat. You've got technical capability, market consolidation, and, on the other hand, this incredible regulatory urgency all happening at breakneck speed.
Right.
We spent time filtering through a deep stack of sources, technical updates, some competitive intel from rival firms, and recent regulatory filings, and they all center on the big players: OpenAI, Luma, and of course, Meta.
That's the perfect framing, because our mission for this deep dive is to really grasp that dual focus of AI leadership right now.
The two-front war?
Exactly. They're under massive pressure to push the state-of-the-art into these, well, almost futuristic domains. But at the very same time, they are desperately navigating this intense societal scrutiny.
Especially around safety.
Often driven by, really tragic external events. The key thing for you to take away is how this competition dictates strategies that seem to contradict each other.
Like what?
Maximum acceleration on the tech front, and then maximum caution and restriction on the public-facing side.
Okay, let's unpack that, starting with the capability push.
Yeah.
This all began with a subtle, almost secret breadcrumb left in a public GitHub repository. The mysterious codename Caribou.
Ah, yes, Caribou.
That name, it turned out, was the precursor to OpenAI's newest specialized model, built squarely on the powerful GPT 5.2 series.
And what's strategically fascinating about this debut is the intended audience. OpenAI was not pitching this to the general user who, wants to write a quick email.
Yeah.
They described this series as their most capable model yet for professional knowledge work. They're targeting people who deal with complex, long-running tasks.
We're talking massive, messy, decade-old code repositories.
Exactly, and workflows that stretch over hours, not just a 5-minute chat. The Codex version is the direct outcome of that ambition.
We saw the internal signs when Caribou first popped up, and then it just migrated so quickly to the public model selector. That felt like an accelerated release.
It was. But what really jumped out from the intelligence reports was what OpenAI decided not to release this time.
Right.
For a long time, the strategy has been, performance fragmentation. You get the standard model, but if you want the high-end reasoning, the best stuff, you pay for a premium max tier.
But with this Caribou model, now officially GPT 5.2 Codex, there was nothing. Zero signs of a separate max variant.
So why does the absence of a max model tell us so much?
It signals a definitive consolidation, and I think it's intended to combat some serious competitive pressure.
The report suggested that Google's recent advances with Gemini 3 had really caught Sam Altman's personal attention.
And when the competition is that fierce, you just can't afford to make your default professional offering feel inferior.
Exactly. Instead of fragmenting performance across price tiers, OpenAI is consolidating around one strong core. They're making sure their single, robust baseline is simply the best out there for pro developers.
Basically trying to blunt the competitive edge of rivals who might chip away at that enterprise market.
Right.
And the defining characteristic of this model is this whole idea of agentic coding. This is a huge conceptual leap beyond, basic autocomplete.
Absolutely. Agentic means you hand the model a large, complex mandate, not just write a function, but refactor the legacy payment API across 3 different systems.
Or migrate this whole library.
Tasks that require the model to manage a huge amount of state and history over hours. To do that, they had to lean heavily on technical mechanisms like context compaction.
Okay, explain context compaction, because that sounds like a dry term for something that seems critically important.
It's the model's ability to summarize and track its own memory efficiently, so it doesn't have to constantly reread the entire history of the project.
So it's like a highly skilled assistant who takes perfect notes and knows exactly what details to keep handy.
That's a great way to put it. As a development task grows massive refactoring, thousands of lines of codex needs to preserve that coherence. Context compaction prevents it from, suffering from catastrophic confusion or just bloated token usage that kills performance.
So if I'm refactoring a massive code base, this isn't just saving money on tokens. It's actually preventing the model from forgetting the context of the first 90% of the project.
Precisely.
That's the real strategic advantage then, right? Preventing that long conversation fatigue.
It is. It allows for that sustained, focused effort you need for professional tasks. And crucially, they also improve the nuts and bolts, the daily friction points for developers.
Yeah, Chaz.
Stronger tool calling reliability for chaining multiple external commands, like integrating with testing frameworks or deployment tools. And this is an often overlooked detail, but native Windows performance improvements.
And that shows they're strategically addressing the reality that, a lot of the professional dev world still operates on high-end Windows setups.
It's not all in the cloud.
And the performance claims seem to back this up, this focus on real-world utility. OpenAI is reporting state-of-the-art results.
Yes, and not on toy problems. They're citing performance wins on metrics like SBench Pro and Terminal Bench 2.0.
What do those actually measure?
Well, SBench Pro tests collaborative coding and bug fixing in multi-file environments, so it simulates how teams actually work. Terminal Bench 2.0 measures speed and accuracy with terminal commands.
So real software engineering productivity.
Exactly. And early developer reactions confirm this. The model feels, and this is a quote, methodical rather than flashy. For a serious debugging tool, that's high praise.
But the truly eye-opening feature, the one that I think will fundamentally change that designer-developer handoff, is the vision support.
That's the strategic knockout punch, I think. GPT 5.2 Codex can now natively interpret visual input.
So you can just feed it a screenshot of an old app.
A screenshot, a UI mockup, even a hand-drawn diagram on a napkin. And the model will turn those visuals directly into functional code or prototypes.
That just eliminates so many time-consuming, expensive handoffs in the development process. You go straight from a visual idea to code.
And they wrap the whole launch by addressing security head-on, positioning Codex as a defensive tool as well.
Which is a very necessary move when you're releasing such a powerful, autonomous agent.
It is. They highlighted that Codex was actively used for defensive work, things like fuzzing and environment setup to uncover issues. And to back that up, they're running an invite-only trusted access track for security defenders.
With safeguards, I assume?
Oh yeah, things like agent sandboxing to contain the model's actions. They're trying to manage risk while maximizing utility.
Now, what's so striking here is the juxtaposition. While OpenAI was accelerating this technical capability on one side for pros,
they were simultaneously applying the brakes and tightening controls dramatically on the consumer side. We have to pivot to the escalating societal scrutiny the company is facing, especially around youth safety.
And this tightening is being driven by some extremely tragic and urgent external pressures. Scrutiny from lawmakers has been escalating fast, especially after these high-profile reports of teenagers allegedly dying by suicide after interactions with chatbots.
And this is happening in the demographic that uses these tools the most. Gen Z are the most active chatbot users right now.
The stakes were also raised exponentially by OpenAI's recent partnership with Disney. That practically guarantees billions more interactions between their models and young users.
And at the same time, the political pressure is just intense. You have 42 state attorneys general signing a letter urging stronger safeguards.
And on the federal level, you have proposals like Senator Josh Hawley's legislation, which proposes to ban minors from interacting with AI chatbots entirely.
That's the political climate they were trying to get ahead of.
So the response was a complete overhaul of the model behavior guidelines for users under 18. And this goes way beyond just the existing prohibitions.
It focuses on emotional and relational guardrails. They introduced new, very specific constraints. So for teenage users, models are now explicitly told to avoid immersive romantic roleplay, first-person intimacy, and any first-person sexual or violent roleplay, even if it's non-graphic.
You also see this new sort of hypervigilance around sensitive topics, things like body image and disordered eating.
It's a clear strategic decision. Prioritize safety over autonomy for minors.
And they're building a mechanism to enforce this proactively, which that raises its own complicated questions, doesn't it?
It does. The plan is to roll out an age prediction model. It's designed to automatically apply these teen-specific safeguards when it thinks an account belongs to a minor.
And crucially, these restrictions are supposed to hold even when a user tries to get around them by framing prompts as fictional or, educational.
Common tactics.
But isn't an age prediction model inherently flawed? Are they running the risk of flagging an 18-year-old as a minor and imposing these really frustrating restrictions?
That's the strategic tightrope they're walking. They're clearly calculating that the regulatory and political risk of not acting is far greater than the risk of, inconveniencing a few users. They're drawing a very clear, restrictive line in the sand.
Sacrificing freedom of expression for minors in favor of bulletproof compliance.
And preempting a total legislative ban.
Okay, shifting gears entirely. While OpenAI was defining the professional future and wrestling with governance, we see Luma tackling a completely different challenge.
Yes, the technical nightmare of continuity and control in generative video.
We're talking about their new model, Ray 3 Modify, backed by some serious money from A16z. What was the core, hardest problem they claimed to have solved?
The core issue has always been control and drift. If you ask an AI to generate a video of someone walking, by frame 50, their shirt might change color, their eyes might drift.
The continuity was just not there.
Exactly. Ray 3 Modify addresses this by fundamentally changing the input. It doesn't generate from scratch. It lets users feed in real footage, an actor's performance, and then it modifies the scene around that core performance.
So the key isn't generating the motion, it's preserving the original human performance while reshaping the world around them.
Precisely. A director could say, "Great performance. Now do it again, but this time you're a robot on Mars." With Ray 3 Modified, they don't have to reshoot. The actor's original motion, timing, eye line, it all stays perfectly intact.
But the team can instantly transform the appearance, change locations, swap costumes.
Rework the entire environment after the performance is already captured. That level of control is just transformative for post-production.
And they introduced a feature that's essential for actual editing, support for start and end frames. That allows for precise transitions across shots.
Which means creative teams can blend sequences seamlessly and maintain that continuity that was always missing from generative AI.
This technical achievement, it signals some massive long-term ambition, doesn't it?
It does. It lands shortly after Luma secured a huge $900 million funding round. And this isn't just about software features.
There's an infrastructure commitment there.
A huge one. They plan to build a 2-gigawatt AI cluster in Saudi Arabia. That level of investment tells you they're positioning themselves as a critical creative infrastructure backbone for the future of media.
Okay, finally, let's quickly look at the challenger trying to reset its strategic position. Meta. They seem to be taking a long view, setting their sights on 2026 while clearly facing immense pressure to catch up.
Meta's internal planning shows where they see the battle shifting. They're developing next-gen models under the code names Mango for images and video, and Avocado for text and coding.
And the explicit goal for Avocado is to be more suitable for coding. Puts it right in the crosshairs with OpenAI's Codex.
Right. But their stated strategy involves moving toward world models. What does that actually entail?
It's a complete structural shift. They're aiming for models that can understand visual information, not just categorize it. They want models that can think, plan, and act within a simulated environment without explicit training for every scenario.
It's an ambitious, high-level bet because, let's be honest, right now, Meta is undeniably behind OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google in foundational model capability.
And the internal pressure to catch up seems palpable.
It is. We've seen major internal restructuring, significant personnel changes, and even the high-profile departure of talent, like Yann LeCun to start his own company.
Which suggests that while Meta has the distribution power, maybe the internal confidence in their current strategy is wavering.
And that's accelerating the need for this world model Hail Mary.
And their current AI assistance usage is sustained almost entirely by just embedding it into their colossal social platforms. It's built-in distribution, not organic demand for the AI itself.
Exactly. The success of Mango and Avocado is essential if they want to move past that and gain traction based on pure technical capability.
Yeah.
But you can never count Meta out.
Because of that distribution.
Their unmatched distribution. Even if they lack technical leadership today, their ability to integrate a successful new model at massive scale remains their most powerful competitive advantage.
Wow. That was a truly comprehensive look at a fracturing industry. We covered OpenAI's technical consolidation with GPT 5.2 Codex.
The necessary policy tightening for youth safety.
And that fundamental leap forward in video control from Luma's Ray 3 Modify.
The final takeaway for you is this. The pace of change now requires AI leadership to manage both extreme technical capability and extreme regulatory risk at the same time.
And we are seeing this critical divergence happen in real time.
We are. Performance is being pushed deep into specialized, highly capable domains for professionals, like Codex, while safety measures are becoming far more restrictive for general consumers, especially minors.
And that leads to our final provocative thought for you to chew on. If the focus for top-tier AI models is shifting almost exclusively to these sophisticated agentic tasks for professionals, how will that change the AI experience for the billions of casual users who are simultaneously being subjected to increasingly strict age-gated controls?
Will consumer AI and professional AI functionally become two entirely separate technologies?
Defined by vastly different rules and levels of autonomy, we'll leave you with that one.
Until the next deep dive.